Class is in session with the professor. Deniz is here to teach us all about what to expect from Eagles Broncos on Sunday. EJ Smith, our Eagles insider, will join us in just a little bit. Much to come on a beautiful Friday here on the PHLY Eagles podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast, live from the Xfinity Studio, presented by Bet365 and Ashley. I'm Wulf. To my left, the esteemed professor himself, Deniz. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I wouldn't say esteemed, but thank you.
Why not?
I guess I don't know. Would you call yourself esteemed?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well.
How would you describe the sauna?
Oh,
Esteemed.
Are you off to a rolling start?
Julie, I can't believe that hit you so hard.
We stayed in a place that had a sauna in Colombia this summer, and
How would you describe? How did
I am not a sauna guy.
how did
Oh man.
Daniele De Rossi describe AJ Brown after the Bucks game? Esteemed.
Luckily, EJ will be here soon. So
Happy Friday, everybody. Super chat from Frank Barber, who astutely asks the question, is Daniz drinking water from a wine glass? That's actually ouzo.
Ruka, come on! I would never drink ouzo. What else?
Hoppa!
Yeah, there you go. Ready? Should I chug it?
Down the hatch.
Oh man.
All right, we'll have it covered on Sunday with everything you need to know. Pre-game show, halftime show, post-game show. That'll do it for the PHLY Eagles post-game show. All right. It's been a fun week. I went to my wife and I went to the performance of Falsettos at the Arden Theater
Oh, okay.
last night. I had a great time. Shout out to everybody who put that on. Thanks to Miss Anna for hooking us up. And I did have an awkward experience at the concession stand.
Okay.
It's a classic tablet situation. You put they flip it over.
Yeah.
You gotta do the tip, and it's so you're really on performance. Like you know that everybody's watching, right?
Yeah.
But I was and so because of that, I was really trying to just do it as quickly as possible. That was my main goal, and it was it was like a $10 thing, so I was just gonna do $1. And so I just hit one go. Okay. Because usually it's just the $1.
Yeah.
But instead I tipped a cent. and Rachel was looking at me like, what are you doing?
So insulting.
So then I took $1 out of my pocket and put it in the actual tip jar, which maybe I should have done in the first place.
That's good.
It's like, so.
I mean, that seems like an interface issue more than a you issue, but that's great. Do you ever do the custom tip?
Yeah, this was a custom tip.
Okay. So you were doing the custom tip. I see.
And I was, but
that's the risk of the custom tip.
I'm so
normally the custom tip you have to type in the whole thing.
Do one and the thing, but yeah.
Yeah, some of those default minimums are so high these days.
Yeah.
You know, like a $3 espresso, and it's like a, you know, like a
Where are you getting a $3 espresso? That seems
tab.
like a great deal.
Yeah, I was rounding $3.50. But yeah. Do they still have the wine in the sippy cup at the Arden?
They do.
Oh, it's fantastic. Speaking of water and wine glasses, you can get wine in a sippy cup at the Arden.
Well, then you bring back the sippy cup and you get a nice discount on the refill.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That's what it's all about. We're not, no dummies here.
No.
Unless you're tipping a cent.
Well, now that they know you're tipping a cent.
All right, let's get into it. The Philadelphia Eagles are a football team that is undefeated. Everybody hates each other, but that's fine.
20-1 in the last 21 games.
17-0 in the last 17 games Jalen Hurts has started and finished.
Unbelievable. I asked Evren to make sure that Evren is my 7-year-old son, and I asked him just last night. I was like, when's the next time in your life the Eagles will be 20-1 in 21 games, like other than this current team? And he like rolled his eyes and he was like, "Never, I know."
It's like, stop
so this
telling
man,
me
yeah,
this, Dad.
like he's like,
You don't
I was
know.
like, say you live to be like 97 years old, so 90 more years. When's the next time? And he's like, "Never, I know, never. It's never going to happen again." I think he appreciates.
Do you think you're sucking the joy out a little bit of that from him by making
I'm
him be
trying
so?
to do exactly the opposite. Like appreciate this team. Don't take it for granted.
You're trying. But
I think it's working.
Okay.
I think it's working. The other thing that was like just fantastic from earlier this week, Monday night, I'm walking by his bedroom. He's talking to Emily. I'm overhearing them. It's Monday night. And he says, "I saw from my dad's graphs that the Broncos play a lot of man and they blitz a lot. But about the man, mesh. I think we're going to use a lot of mesh." And I was just like so happy. Like, first of all, that he's on to the next opponent on a Monday.
Oh, yeah.
That he's studied their tendencies and he knows the answers. I mean, this is just fantastic. He's
Do you
ready.
think he's going to be right?
Yeah, I think we'll see mesh a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll work. They've run mesh a lot, against zone as well. And it's looked kind of silly, but yeah.
Okay, well, let's use that to get into the discrepancy from the offense and how good we've seen them be at their highs.
Yeah.
In 3 halves of the 8 halves.
3 incredible halves.
Right.
Better than any half of football they had in the first half of last season, for sure.
Okay.
Like all 3 of those halves were better than any of the halves from the first half of last season.
Right. And they're all among the top 10 percentile halves of any offensive performances this season.
Sure.
But on the whole of the season, they've been outgained.
Yeah.
29th in yards.
Yeah.
Right.
When you look at their, like, it's half to half, but also
So what do you make of it?
Because of half to half, you also have the drive to drive.
Yeah.
They're 4th in the league at touchdown rate on drives. 37% of their drives have ended in touchdowns. Like, that seems like a pretty important stat, right? Like, they're 6th in the league in points per drive. I mean, these are all stats that, like, before the age of analytics and everything, you'd be looking at this and you'd be like, this is like, like a high-flying, great team. But yeah, like you said, 29th in yards. And you turn around and you're like, well, how can this be? Well, 37% of the drives are ending in touchdowns. Another 37% are ending in 3 and outs, which, the touchdown one is 4th highest in the league. The 3 and outs is, depending on how you measure, like highest or second highest or whatever. You mentioned
Pretty funny.
earlier this week, like how I've talked about this in the past because this was true in the past as well, at least up until a certain point in the season. 11 for 11 in the red zone and only 1 turnover all year, right? So what this results in is a team that's 29th in yards per drive and 6th in points per drive. Incredibly efficient use of yards and first downs. Like, it's like anytime you get a first down, you score a touchdown, right? Like, it's great. They're actually scoring at the same rate as last year.
Statistician in the laboratory, that's what that's how you try to maximize.
Like, don't get tired like getting first downs and then punting the ball.
Yeah.
Like, what good is that? And they're also not turning it over. And so what that means is that they're scoring all these points and winning all these games without AJ Brown, DeVonta Smith, Saquon Barkley. Like, I don't know anything about fantasy. I don't play fantasy. I don't condone fantasy. But I'm sure if you have those players in fantasy, you're not happy, right? Because they're not getting individual yards.
Do you condone the genre?
The genre of fantasy, like literature?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Just getting the record straight.
No, it's all good. But when you look at, like,
Julia
if you're not watching if you're not watching every Eagles game and you just have like one of those players in fantasy and you're wondering like how are they winning these games and my guy's not getting any yards? Well, don't worry, no one's getting any yards. Like the team is 29th in yards, right? Like so that's the thing about and that's kind of goes back to what AJ Brown is talking about. Like he's like it's not about me, it's about the offense isn't good, right? And I want to make the offense better. And it's true. I mean, like, that's been how it is. And if you look at like the lack of big plays, like that, this is related to that as well. Nick Sirianni talks about the double positive. Like, I don't know if we have a graphic on this one, Julia, about like big plays and turnovers, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is a Deniz.
Like, if you look at this season so far, the Eagles' offense is 25th in generating EPA from big plays, 20-plus yard plays. But they're third in avoiding EPA loss from turnovers. So Nick Sirianni talks about the double positive, winning the explosive play battle and winning the turnover battle. So this is the graph that's up right now is last year's, where the Eagles were really good in both, right? And you see all the way to the right, that means that they benefited from 20-plus yard plays, offense minus defense, more than any other team in the league last year. And this year, they're all the way down to 26th in that, right? Like the defense is giving up big plays, the offense isn't generating big plays. And in turnovers, everything's going great, right? Both the offense and the defense are doing really well in turnovers. They're doing fourth in that. But typically you think of like, there are more big plays than there are turnovers, like in football. It's more of a sustainable thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just worried that the turnover luck is going to run out at some point, and the inability to, I think on defense they'll be fine. Like they'll stop the big plays eventually. But on offense, they have to start to generate big plays. As AJ Brown said, in a very insulting manner to the past opponents, let's get this thing fixed before we run into a serious team, which I thought was like
I missed that, actually.
One of the best things he said. I mean,
that's very funny.
I watched his entire script,
and this was the tough part.
No
of the
one's
schedule.
talking about this quote. It was so good. Like
That's
I mean,
very
after you face Spags and Todd Bowles, and,
Yeah.
it was so good. Like before we run into a serious team, fantastic. So
You think he thinks the Giants are that team?
yeah, no, I'm not sure. I don't know who he thinks is a serious team. When you win every game, it's hard to take any opponent seriously. When you look like schematically, right? Like, oh no, I think you want to talk about the culture thing on this, right? Like, how do you deal with all the winning?
Yeah,
while it doesn't look good on the field necessarily.
And I think this is where Nick Sirianni comes in, because he lived through and coached through both the experience of the 2023 and 2024 season, both seasons in which at various points in time the team was winning and it didn't necessarily look great. And I'm curious what lessons like Nick learned from 2023 especially, and then the beginning of last season, which it didn't feel like was a learned experience, and then things got better. But I just think you are the culture guy, and you have whatever disagreements are happening in the locker room. Like, this is it. Like this is what the money is for Nick Sirianni, right? Like if he can help with the offense, great. That's not what he's here for. He's here to make sure that everybody's pulling in the same direction, whether they agree with each other or not, whether they like each other or not. And so I think all of this is a test of Sirianni.
Yeah, I mean, it was noteworthy that AJ Brown said that Sirianni like FaceTimes him, like even on the days that he's not coming in the building. Certainly didn't say the same about Jalen.
The
quarterback, my quarterback. To be fair about the my quarterback thing, he also said my head coach, my coordinator in that same sentence. But then he did quickly name all those other people, and he never named Jalen. So, yeah. Without getting into that, I totally agree that Nick has a very important role in managing this. 2023 is fresh in all of our minds. The fact that the team's undefeated, I think that's actually really helping right now, because if we didn't have the 2023 experience, I think there would be more of a feeling.
Yeah.
Like not just among fans, but in the building too. Like we're undefeated. Like what's everyone talking about, right? Like, but we know that the team can be 10-1.
Right. It should help them guard against. Yeah, we think we're great because we're winning games.
Yeah, and I think Nick has openly talked about using 2023 as an example, right? And it's harder to compare to last year because last year there were also losses early in the season. So that makes it a little easier to be like, we have to get our act together because we actually just got killed in Tampa Bay as opposed to just won in Tampa Bay. Yeah, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to pass this test? of keeping the culture together?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I don't think they're going to have like knives out in the locker room. I don't think it's going to be a steady ship necessarily. But yeah, I think he deserves some benefit of the doubt.
That's another thing AJ said that I really liked when he's like, I think everyone's cool with me unless they're putting on a facade, which I really liked. The idea that like they're just pretending that they're okay with him, but they really hate him or something. Like, obviously,
I have an AJ Brown question for you that I would like to get to after the break, Deniz, but let's hear a word from our sponsors first. Evren knows ball. We know that. He's ready to run mesh this weekend. Unfortunately, he doesn't know TV setup because he invited me over the other weekend for the big game. And I get there, and it was a terrible situation. Lagging, buffering, switching between apps, trying to find the game. He claimed he was a big fan. He fan-fished me. So, come over to my place, watch the game there, because the ultimate fan flex is having Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best games and your favorite teams all in one place, and the way that you watch is next level. Sometimes you can even get 4 games going on at once, because why not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. And I will tell you about my friends at Parks Casino. You can check out brand new casino games at Parks Casino like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, a Bet Parks exclusive. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games in the palm of my hand. You can play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows, Walking Dead, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, and Peaky Blinders, and all your favorite casino games from wherever you are. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in your first 24 hours. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for Bet Parks. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. Bet Parks. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I forgot that I was going to have to do both reads because EJ is not here. And I will tell you, I don't believe in all of the rotation of ads that we have at PHLY. There is a more perilous phrase than hot online slots. Because if you get that one wrong, it could go a different way. Will you get yourself together? We're professionals here.
Someone wrote, you have to stop getting invited by children. And that's not just that. The story ends with him then saying, I don't like it here. Come to my place.
That was yesterday's episode when we talked about minors, I believe. Okay.
All right.
Here's my AJ Brown question for you, Deniz.
Okay.
In all of the consternation about his usage and his target rate and all that stuff,
Yeah.
are we underrating the possibility that he is just not the same player himself?
I don't think it's being underrated because it has been discussed.
Okay.
It makes you wonder the way that he's being used. We can talk about like the way he's, what routes they're having him run and those kinds of things. One thing that opened my eyes a little bit this week, I saw a clip of Jason Avant, who, for those of you who aren't old enough to remember Jason Avant. He was a very good, like, kind of slot possession type receiver on the Eagles back in the Andy days. He was not fast. And he said about AJ Brown, they're playing him as if he's Jason Avant out there running go routes. They're sitting on everything, which is a great quote coming from Jason Avant himself. Yeah. And they asked him, like, what do you mean? Like, has he lost a step? And he even said, like I don't know if he's lost the step, but I know the way corners play people, and they're playing him basically as if he's me. They're sitting on everything, and he might be referring, like, kind of anecdotally to that 3-play sequence from the last game where they threw, like, little hitches to him like 3 times in a row, and they were clearly sitting on it. There are examples. Fran mentioned one. They're running dagger, and AJ Brown is running the dig, and Zion McCollum is, like, trailing him. And if he just goes, he's going to be wide open. But it's like he knows he's going to run a dig. Now, is that AJ Brown not threatening him with speed, or is that I know this is dagger because you guys run this a lot,
right?
And I'm just going to trust that. Like, Malcolm Jenkins used to be the king of that. Like, he would know the route the receiver's running, like, better than the receiver did, and he would just, like, not even bother trying to, like trust the other thing. So I don't think it's. I personally haven't seen enough to know that to think that it's AJ Brown has lost a step or something like that. We know he was somewhat injured in camp.
Yep.
He might not be as full speed now as he's going to be later in the season or something, but I don't think that's the main thing. Do you?
I don't think it's the main thing, but I also think it could be part of the equation. I don't think he's being used the right way necessarily.
Right.
But I also think, he could be down a half step. I think that's certainly possible. I mean, even in the past when he has not been targeted, his efficiency numbers have still been outstanding.
Sure.
And that's part of the usage problem, but I think there's also something too. Potentially he could be just one of the 20 best receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
And
no, for sure.
One of the 3 best.
Look, we should talk about this now. Like his route frequencies and the team in general, like, not generating any yards after catch. Like, so AJ Brown,
this is our number 4.
AJ Brown this season has run slants 15% of the time, which is second most out of 100 wide receivers with at least 8 targets. Okay, so there are 100 wide receivers with at least 8 targets. All these stats are going to be ranking out of 100. Second most slants in the league. 24% have been hitches, those little short hitches. That's among the highest as well. And then 24% have been go routes, but a lot of those are clear out routes. They're not, like, intended really to go to him. Just 5% of his routes have been crossing routes. That ranks 97th out of 100 wide receivers. He's run 6 crossing routes all year. He's only been targeted on one of them, and that was broken up by the safety Cook in the first quarter in Kansas City on a play action pass. I had to look up what that was. He's never in motion. I mean, except for little short motions that everyone has memorized and doesn't really react to. When you look at DeVonta Smith's usage, this is kind of like talking about, like, the general offense here, right? Only 7% of DeVonta Smith's routes are crossing routes. That ranks 85th. So they're both in the bottom 15 out of 100 in crossing routes. Nobody runs crossing routes in this offense. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
30% of DeVonta Smith's routes have been hitches. That's 4th most among wide receivers. Basically, the offense isn't designed to get yak. And sure enough, if you look at this graphic we have here, this is yards after catch per completion. Jalen Hurts ranks 32nd out of 33 quarterbacks in this year, down to 3.7 yards after catch per completion. That's almost 2 full yards less than last year. And when you look at the, like, number of routes that those same receivers ran last year, they were running like more than double the number of crossers. It wasn't nearly as, with little variety as it is this time. Jeff McClain asked DeVonta Smith earlier this week, like it was on his podcast, whether there's enough route variety. And he said sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. Like, I just make the play when it comes my way, something like that. But, I mean, we can see all this when we watch the game, and especially when you watch the film, that they don't have answers when the defense is basically covering those little hitches and stop routes and those kinds of things. And this, like, takes me back to the Tampa Bay game where in the first half, the Eagles were awesome. And part of it is because Bowles was blitzing like crazy. Eagles had one of the most successful games against the blitz of any team this year, 82% success rate. And then second half, 11 dropbacks, 0 for 8, 2 sacks, and a scramble. There was only one blitz there. There were 5 exchange pressures, and 2 times he dropped 8 into coverage. One of the times he dropped 8 into coverage, there was a sack. And Mailata earlier this week on his radio show said, when he stopped blitzing, we looked around and it was like, oh, this is nice, but there's nobody to throw to. I didn't see that coming from Todd Bowles. For me as a professor, this kind of reminds me of like when I'm writing an exam, I have to make sure that a student who only studies like half the topics doesn't get like a really good grade on the exam, right? Because if you only put half of the material on the exam, some lucky student who only studied exactly that stuff like could end up doing well. It's like the Eagles offensive staff only studied for part of the test. They studied for the part of the test where it was like Bowles was going to blitz the whole time. We were going to have hots. Guys were going to be open on those little hitches.
It's like they thought they had the answers, or they had the questions ahead of time.
They had the questions. And then when the questions changed midway through the test and Bowles started doing something else, they had no answers for that. And it takes them so long to adjust. Like, just like it's taking them really long to realize, like, the running game's not last year's running game. Like, stop trying to build it around the running game. It's also taking them a long time within games to be like, hey, wait a second. Like, they stopped doing the things that these plays were working against. Maybe start calling different plays or have different plays ready for those situations. And we just haven't seen that. One of the things they've been doing a lot this year, which is different from last year, is they're keeping the running back in to protect a lot. And part of that's because they're playing teams that blitz more, but they've been doing it at an alarmingly high rate, even when they're not blitzing. Like Saquon's just staying in. And what the Eagles often do is they'll have the running back check release. So he checks for blitzers and then he releases to the flat. That's usually what he does. And it gives obviously the quarterback an extra option, but it also keeps one of the linebackers' eyes on that running back and opens up passing lanes for the guys in the middle for the routes they love to run, the slants, the hitches. This year, if you look at how often the Eagles have all 5 guys out in the route, which is basically a measure of whether the running back's running a route, they're dead last in the league, 56% at having all 5 guys run in the route. This is Jeff Stoutland's offensive line that doesn't need help ever, that we always talk about like they're left on islands, dead last. When Nick Sirianni said a wise man avoids all extremes, by the way, in his defense, he didn't say he was a wise man. Like he's just presented that wise men avoid all extremes. Now the Eagles are ranked like 30th or 32nd in everything, like every tendency thing. So take from that what you will. Last year they were at 73%, which is 15th. I think there's a graphic on this, Julia.
This was the first one. This was the 5-man route percentage. So
in this game against Tampa Bay, Saquon was staying in to protect even when they weren't blitzing. And I think that comes from the inability to adjust. This idea that like all week they were like, he's going to blitz, he's going to blitz, he's going to blitz. So like we're gonna design these concepts where
you don't think that it could have been because they're worried about the offensive line?
That's the other question. Could it be because they don't think that the offensive line can hold up even against a 4-man rush? Yeah. And we're keeping the running back in. But there were plays where they weren't blitzing or even exchanging. Just the 4D linemen were rushing. And Saquon was staying in and just kind of like helping one of the guards or something. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, this doesn't look like the Eagles. Like this has not been the Eagles with Jeff Stoutland, like under any of the head coaches. So for me, that's a little bit of an alarm because that makes certain concepts that the Eagles have not work because the running back's not out attracting attention from somebody else. I'm not saying they throw to the running back a lot because they don't, but it opens up some of that other stuff when the running back is out on a route. And that's been a change this year from past years.
That feels like a waste. Yeah. I mean, but that also feels like something that, to your point, could have been, okay, we were slow to react to Bulls. Let's actually make sure that we don't let this happen again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's get to more of the Saquon Barkley discussion and what's going on with the running game after these words from our sponsors. EJ's on his way in. We'll hear from him shortly. But you know what EJ can't do? Fix a goddamn thing in your house. You know who can? Ace Hardware Home Services. That's right. Because when the weather turns chilly, the last thing you need is a home project piling up. Ace Hardware Home Services brings trusted local pros right to your door to help you get your home ready for the colder months. From heating tune-ups and plumbing fixes to generators and emergency repairs, their experts handle it all. No guesswork, just no stress. Just a local pro to get the job done right, satisfaction guaranteed. Find the help you need for your next home project at acehardwarehomeservices.com. And after you do that, go make yourself some money at Bet365. Because you know where it's never ordinary? Bet365. That's right. With Bet365, you get the early payout offer as well. If you're a winner, if your team goes up by 17 points, you are a winner with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Last NFL season, both money lines were paid out 4 times because of the early payout and the end result to the game. You would have had this if you bet on the Rams, for instance, in week 3. You would have got both if you needed to. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Where's mine? If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Professor, let's talk running game. What are you worried about?
Well, we talked a little bit last week about how the variety in the running game hasn't quite been the same. And what about me? I'm sitting right here. I mean, yes. So we talked about the variety of in the run game, how they didn't run any gap scheme runs against the Rams, how they didn't run any quarterback designed runs the first 2 weeks. Last week, we finally saw them play a game where they actually ran some of both. The run game success just hasn't been there, and I loved your guys' show on Monday with Fran breaking down all of those. I had the film in front of me. I was listening to Fran. I was looking at the film at the same time. It was a great way to kind of dive into the run game. And as Fran very nicely put it, and as you guys discussed, like it was a little bit of everything, right? Sometimes Calcaterra is losing on a block. Sometimes Steen's losing on a block. Sometimes Saquon's not seeing the right thing. At the end of the day, it's not working. Like Saquon Barkley is 20th in EPA per rush out of 32 running backs. He's 31st in rushing success rate, which when you're running on 1st and 10 and you have an unsuccessful run, the way this coaching staff calls 2nd and long and especially 3rd and long, like you're basically just giving up, right? And I mean, they had a 3rd and 13 that they gave up on in the red zone in the last game. It's driving me crazy. Like I know you were up 21-3, but like you can score a touchdown and pretty much end this game right here. Make it like a 4-score game at halftime. They didn't even try. Mm-hmm. And so that makes it even matter more if they're going to do that. Like it makes it matter more that you're successful on those early down runs. And they just haven't been. A lot's been made of the yards before contact, right? And so
here we get your nerd to really come out.
Yeah. So everyone says average yards before contact was this last year, and it's worse this year. Yeah, obviously it's worse this year. But when you quote those average yards before contact, there's like a 70-yard touchdown he had against the Rams where he wasn't touched. Well, guess what? Those are 70 yards before contact. It's skewing the numbers a lot, right? And so what I think you should do, and this is what I did, is look at what percent of his runs are getting 1 or more yards before contact. What percent of his runs are getting negative yards before contact? And you can see this year he is...
These are the run percentage ones, Julia. 2 and 3.
He is being contacted before he gets to the line of scrimmage 33% of the time. Last year, that was down to 24%. That was down at 24%. So that's like a big difference. And then in terms of getting 1 yard before contact
the other one,
or more, right? It was 58% last year, and it's down to 51% this year. That's a significant difference. Like it might not sound like a lot, but that's a significant difference over this large a sample. We're talking 4 games worth now. And Saquon last year was like the king of turning that play where he could get that initial blocking into an explosive run. He was first by a mile. I think we have a graph on this one where Saquon's like up by himself in the upper left of the graph. Like he was first by a mile in EPA per rush when he got that 1 yard before contact. He was below average when he didn't. And so the fact that they're not getting him that 1 yard this year is basically not letting him shine in this way. Now, he is 29th in success rate, whether he gets the yard or not this year, unfortunately. So like there is a little bit of like Saquon isn't maybe doing as much with this as he can. Part of it might be that Saquon's expecting the blocking like that he had last year.
Right.
And he's not in that mode where he was, on the Giants where he knew he had to create by himself. And when you're expecting the block to be there and it isn't, like those runs aren't going to be successful. Whereas when like the guy in front of you can't block and you're going for the crazy spin move or whatever, you're going to get more explosive. So I don't know what to make of how this is going to continue, whether Landon Dickerson like being a little healthier or like everybody getting used to playing together with Tyler Steen or whatever it is gonna fix this problem. But right now, I mean, the run game's not working, and until it is, like they should stop calling it like it's going to. What do you think?
See, somebody is here. What do I think? I think I have some faith that it's going to get better. But I agree with you that they need to stop treating the script like they're going to just flip a switch.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. And I mean,
and I think you're also, you were on it early as well. Like the lack of variety in what running plays they are running is not ideal, and you wonder why that is the case.
And the sequencing and the not pairing it with play action and all those things. I mean, like, and we've talked so much about those things for so long now that I don't want to expect to think that those are going to change. But one of the things that had been good in the Eagles' play calling in the past few years is the sequencing of the run plays, at least, and that includes involving the quarterback. And it would be nice to see some of that, especially this week against Denver with those edge rushers who are like fast get-off guys who are going to be trying to rush the passer. If you can get them thinking pass and run and involve the quarterback and do zone reads and read those guys, that could be a good approach this week.
The reason I brought in EJ, who is here now from the Novacare complex, is that the next thing we're going to discuss is the running plays with and without Dallas Goedert.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as we know, Dallas Goedert is the MVP of this team.
This is some welcome.
And in this last game in Tampa, the Eagles were 47% on success rate in plays with Dallas Goedert on the field, where they ran it 19 times and were successful on 9 of them. 7 times without Dallas Goedert, EJ. How many were successful?
You did send this, but I didn't commit it to memory.
1 out of 7, just 1 out of 7 without Dallas Goedert.
I find it insignificant.
I did find it to be strange that Dallas Goedert wasn't on the field in a lot of those 12 personnel runs. It was like Granson and Calcaterra on the field. Like there were certain runs that they repeated a bunch of times that Dallas Goedert wasn't part of that. And then he was on the injury report with a knee on Wednesday. They're clearly managing him, and this is something that like availability matters, right? Like they can't rely on him to be out there on all these plays, and the running game is worse without him. That's just clear. It's not like he's been great at blocking this year, but like the other guys are really bad, right? And
you think he's going to play this week, EJ?
I think he'll play. He had a bulky brace on his left knee in the locker room just now. I expect him to play, but. Again, to Deniz's point, like, is he going to be setting aside our like arguments about Dallas Goedert as a run blocker in 2025? Is he going to be close to 100%? I think is more the question.
Yeah, he only played 43 snaps out of 57, and that's like a lower percentage than he normally plays. I know it was hot. I know he was injured before. But, I mean, part of the issue with the run game is the tight end's blocking, and your most reliable blocker as a tight end is being, like, load managed, so he's not out there for, like, more than a third of the runs in a game. That'll have some impact on the results as well.
Julia really liked load managed.
You don't get to come in here.
Wait, excuse me?
Make jokes like that?
Excuse me? I don't get to what?
Julia, wait till you hear that Jonathan Cooper gets off in 0.69 seconds. Best in the NFL. Good thing Jamie's not in here for that one.
Okay, before we get to special teams and defense and everything that you have from the locker room, EJ, let's close out the Eagles offense. The discussion we had last week about getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. Feels like the rest of the media corps has picked up on this week.
You know how it is.
Well,
we talk about something,
Come
people
on.
listen, suddenly everyone's talking about it.
But you think in particular this week this will be a bigger deal?
Yeah, so Jonathan Cooper gets off in 0.69 seconds. This is an actual stat. This is from Luca Evans of the Denver Post. That's the fastest get off of any defensive end in the NFL.
This side of Fran.
Nick. What is happening there? Nick Bonito on the other side, he gets off in 0.72 seconds, which is tied for second.
I just love Jamie just expressing his approval from the other side of the glass.
So, against these defensive ends that get off so fast, Bo makes a point about how you might not want to let them know when you're going to snap the ball.
Right. The more predictable it is that you're about to snap the ball, the easier it is to have a quick get off.
Right. And everybody's talking this week about why the Eagles are so slow at getting to the line of scrimmage. Jordan Mailata made a couple of points this week on his radio show. He said it's not just about, the get-off thing. It's also, he says they practice all week watching film to find cues in the defense, right? So he's like, Brandon Brooks used to talk about this. You look at the 3-tech's foot. Is the inside foot up? Which foot is back? You can tell which way he's going to go from that. You want to recognize those cues. Are the linebackers fitting certain gaps? You have to look up and see all those things. And he said, you have 35 seconds to do this. And then he said, in our case, because our procedure was so slow, we're breaking the huddle at 14 seconds. Now we have 10 seconds to make these adjustments. We go through all that coaching, all these clips, and then we don't have time to actually execute those things.
That's very interesting.
So it's interesting to hear an offensive lineman say that.
You know what that
and when they
brings
asked
to
him,
mind for
they asked him, why are you so slow? Sorry, AJ, go ahead.
I just was going to say, you know what that brings to mind to me? We're takers. We should take what we want. Stop taking what they give us. It's like, do you want to be in attack mode or do you want to be in react mode? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just thinking
who cares about the 3-tech's foot? Just play kind of thing?
A little bit. It's like you have, 8 or 9 Pro Bowl caliber players in that offense. Like, do you need to give up the advantage of the timing of the snap count in pursuit of which way is, Vita Vea is not a good example, but which way is this 3-tech going to go,
Well, I think what Mailata is saying is they want to be able to take advantage of those things, because they've tape studied on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why are we wasting that time?
Yeah, it's like I think just having had the pleasure of talking to Brandon Brooks about this, he really, you could tell that he appreciated those coaching points and the ability to be able to tell what the opponent's going to do.
And Brandon Graham has talked about this on the other side, watching the way that where a guy's weight is on his feet, and stuff like that. Like that little chess match is a fun thing.
Jalen Carter is awesome at that. He says he's light, that kind of stuff. When they asked him why they were so slow, and he said, we don't have any urgency. He said, especially as the offensive line, we have to break the huddle faster, get to the line. He was kind of blaming the offensive line for being slow at getting back in the huddle, getting from the huddle. I don't know. It's going to be a continued point that we make. The Eagles continue to be by a mile the slowest team at the team with the highest rate of plays, where the play clock is under 5, under 2. All those things. So I don't think it's going to change. It's been this way for 3 years.
Yeah.
But there was a week last year where they made this.
But this is one where I think we do know that it is not intentional. It is. Yeah. This is something that they would like to do better at.
They want to fix. Yeah. Do you think it's mostly because it takes them a long time to decide what play to run? And they only have 3 plays, so you'd think it'd be fast. No,
I guess it's a confluence of things. I think if it was one thing, they probably would have fixed it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be curious if it is any different home versus away.
You can check that.
Okay.
I went on a rant last week about how they were using the silent cadence at home, and because the crowd makes too much noise. So if they're using the silent cadence,
I think this is one where Jalen actually needs to say this during a press conference.
Tell the crowd to be
quiet on 4th down.
Interesting.
Don't you think? That's the only way to get that message across. Don't you think it's against
his personality? It would sound like he's making an excuse.
I don't know.
I think if Jalen just more adamantly told people to be quiet, that would work too.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes like Calcaterra or somebody will do it.
He's always hoarse after games in his press conferences, so maybe just one time say sorry, I had to yell over the crowd today.
Yeah. That's more petty though.
That's like, yeah, well,
That's what I'm worried about. It's like not his personality.
I am a little petty. Not above being petty.
Okay. All right.
Use their speed against them this week is what I say. Invite them upfield. Don't block them. Read them. Like run some of those RPOs where you're like they did with Von Miller 8 years ago, where you just leave them unblocked. They've done it with Micah Parsons with this stuff. So that's what I would do. But yeah, the RPO part of the playbook seems to be missing. Patullo found Andy Reid's red zone binder in his office.
That was great.
It'd be great if he could find the RPO binder too. It's just gone.
All right, much more to get to, including this Denver defense, the Eagles defense against the Broncos offense, special teams, EJ's Nuggets, lots of good stuff. One more ad break.
You got 2 minutes to do this, and you wasted like 40 seconds.
Don't say a word during the ad break, Bo. Don't do it.
No, Ray, I will. I will talk about it. Not that Ray, Shady Ray. Here's the best part about Shady Rays. Not only is it the best sunglasses that you can get, but they're protected. If you lose them, if you get them stolen, if you break them, Shady Rays will replace those bad boys as part of the deal. No better protection, no better customer service in all of eyewear. That's why I wear my Shady Rays without fear. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Next, we're going to talk about Rothman Orthopedics. We've all been there trying to power through summer plans with a nagging injury or stubborn pain. But when rest isn't cutting it, it's time to call in the experts. That's why we trust Rothman Orthopedics. Whether you're running on the beach, swinging your golf clubs, or lifting the little ones for a pool day, Rothman specialists are here to treat what's holding you back. Their top-tier care will have you moving and enjoying every minute of the summer and the fall. Patients will find the full spectrum of orthopedic care at Rothman Orthopedics. From diagnosis to discharge, they provide their patients with every service and procedure necessary, such as x-rays, orthotics, end bracings, MRIs, physical therapy, and more. Year over year, Rothman consistently performs among the highest volume of hip, knee, shoulder, and ankle replacements in the country, over 60,000. If pain is slowing you down this season, take the first step. Head to rothmanortho.com/PHLY and schedule your appointment today. Rothman Orthopedics, your summer, your mobility, their mission.
All right, back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, presented by Bet365 and Ashley, here from the Xfinity Studio. Professor, from a matchup standpoint, what do you think the Broncos defense is going to do? Do you think that it will be Surtain on A.J. Brown or on DeVonta Smith?
I was just assuming that it would be A.J. Brown.
Right.
I was fascinated to hear Fran talk about how he's not sure. DeVonta Surtain has their old teammates.
Yeah.
DeVonta had a nice game against him in Denver. It was 4 years ago. They were both rookies, but I'd be shocked if they have Surtain follow DeVonta. That would be so insulting to AJ. Don't you think?
All right, can you tell the story?
We're going to put the white guy on AJ?
No.
Okay.
No?
I shouldn't tell the story now.
Okay. Oh, no.
What I would say is that I think they are expecting Surtain to follow AJ.
Okay.
And because of that, I feel like I'm on Fran's side of this, that's exactly why I don't think
you
they'll
do the opposite because well, and we know they don't have any plan ready for when they see something they don't expect.
The thing is, like, if you have Surtain on AJ, you're getting man coverage for AJ Brown, which is still a favorable situation for AJ Brown. To me, I know Fran talked more about like Riley Moss is physical enough to hold up against AJ. To me, I almost wonder if the Broncos, the Eagles see zone at an unprecedented rate so far. Like, to me, it's like that would be giving the Eagles what they want. I would be giving AJ Brown what he wants if he's getting man coverage, even if it is against somebody as good as Pat Surtain. You know, AJ Brown doesn't care if it's Pat Surtain or anybody else. If he is a one-on-one matchup in man coverage, I think that plays into what the Eagles want.
They run man coverage 40% of the time, fourth in the league. They ran a decent amount of man against Cincinnati last week. Obviously, backup quarterback, but you're talking about Jamar Chase. And
it seems...
And they had Surtain follow Chase.
Yeah. When
you look at Chase and Higgins, Chase is more like AJ Brown. Higgins is more like DeVonta Smith. Like, there's a lot of reasons to think that they'll have him follow AJ.
You hear the Eagles talk so much about unscouted looks and not getting exactly what they expect from the defense. I wonder if it's that type of situation where, again, it's like we've seen the Eagles struggle so much with zone coverage. Why would you play into why would you not present what they struggle with?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's not like DeVonta Smith is getting targets either. He's getting targeted less than AJ is. Like, I don't know. What is the tactical advantage you're getting from having that go the opposite of what the Eagles expect?
Again, it's like, do you think they can beat zone coverage? And have they shown that they've been able to?
I mean, the tactical advantage you get is AJ Brown might murder somebody in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that could. I mean, yeah. If you're playing with that, if you're like, okay, like these guys are, gonna force it to AJ. Let's really make them force it to him by putting Riley Moss on him instead. Not that Riley Moss is like terrible, but like, I mean, I don't know.
I think
like, do they really want that though? Do they want it to become an AJ game?
I think they might dare them to have an AJ game. I think the Eagles agree with you though. I think that they are expecting AJ or Surtain to follow AJ.
One thing that Denver has not done that has given the Eagles trouble is those sim pressures.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 games, it's been a theme with both with Spags does it all the time, Bowles does it all the time, and what's his name, Shula on the Rams did it a lot as well, is dropping D linemen into coverage, taking away some of those hitches and short little things that they like to throw, and then blitzing somebody else, and only rushing 4. The Denver Broncos, I was shocked at this. I had to check the number over and over, and then I had to confirm it by watching some film to make sure they're not missing something. Have not run a single one of those pressures this season. They ran it like 5% of the time last year, 0 this year. They've never sent linebackers or safeties and dropped defensive linemen on the same play and ended up with only 4 rushing on the play. They will do a lot of double mug, like both linebackers are in the A gap, like the sprinkling little
sugar in the
double A gap. Sugar A gap. They'll do that, but either those guys will actually blitz or the linebackers themselves will drop out. They won't do ones where the D linemen drop out and the linebackers go. So that might make things a little bit easier to diagnose. But at the end of the day, like, this is a good defense. They're going to disguise coverages. They'll spin into different versions of cover 2 and those kinds of things. I don't know what the Eagles are going to prepare for this week, but we haven't seen a game where they seemed prepared for everything. Like, they're prepared for one thing or they're prepared for another thing, and then in one half it'll work, one half it won't. It would be great to see a complete game, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Let me know in the chat, do you also, when someone says D lineman, do you also think of D Lineham?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Used to see D
Shout out
Lineham
to
around the
D. Lineham.
neighborhood a lot.
Shout out to D Lineham.
Yeah.
I don't know if she moved, but used to see her in the neighborhood a lot.
I've never met her, but like, this is going to sound like a flex, but like, she's just like messaged me before to compliment my work. And just very kind.
Wow.
So, shout out to D.
How about that?
I don't know if this is going to sound like a
jeez.
flex.
I mean,
Of course it sounds
I
like a
wanted to
flex.
express how nice it is that she's reached out before.
Yeah. And listen, I
Yeah.
appreciate all the letters that she sent me telling me that I'm the most talented person in the city.
And the most
that's
handsome guy in the show,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But, thank you, D. Okay. Before we get to the Eagles defense, let's talk special teams. I guess we got to take let's give it 10 seconds to give you credit for the Cam LATU thing.
I mean, look, who else in the city? EJ just said like, oh, look at Cam LATU. He's gonna be good.
Look at this look off.
I on the show said Cam LATU is gonna block a punt. Now, Bo mentioned that it was before the Rams game and not before the Bucs game. However, in the Rams game, the Rams only punted once, and it was like a 4th and 1, and so the Eagles had the entire defense stay on the field. So Cam LATU wasn't out there. Now, Cam LATU blocked the very next punt after I said that he's going to block a punt. I think I should get some credit for that. That is a very specific
Let me set the record straight here.
thing to predict.
You deserve a ton of credit for predicting this. I've got no issue with that. I'm not coining this. I did not coin that he would block a punt. All I would like to point out is that I was the original, and do not cut me off because this is important. I get this all out in one sentence. I was the original Cam LATU appreciator And I was told, settle down, EJ. The guy's got one good block, and all of a sudden you can't stop talking
how
about
much
Cam Latu.
Fran
You're
just
a
hates Cam
concussion
Latu.
uncle because you like the fullback tight end hybrid player. And now that Deniz appreciates something about Cam Latu,
No, he
predicts
made a call.
something, we got to clear it out. We got to make sure that Deniz gets a victory lap here. Oh, good job, Deniz.
I
Give him a pat on the back.
I didn't say he's going
I'm
to the
just
Pro.
saying.
The thing I predicted
I didn't
actually
say he's
already
going
happened.
to the Pro Bowl either. All I'm saying is that there's a little bit of a different
he could-
energy here about certain
please.
people appreciating Cam Latu.
And as I have said, what predates even that is the correct call that if you had Cam Latu all along, you didn't need Ben Sumrin on the active roster, which makes me correct.
Which is why
makes
you
me
lost
the king of the beats.
Well,
That makes me. I should just be the general manager.
If we are talking special teams, it is worth mentioning. And EJ, this is gonna boost your Cam Latu thing. Cam Latu's a monster on special teams. Not just the block, not just the punt he blocked. He's awesome on kickoff. He drew a holding call against Anthony Nelson. That's a huge play in special teams. Drawing a holding is like the biggest thing you can do on special teams. It totally sets them back. He just destroyed Anthony Nelson on another rep. Good player.
It is
I like Anthony Nelson. That was my guy.
It reminds me, Fran shared this on social media, probably, it might have been after week 1, that the Eagles, I think they're either first or second in the RAS score, like on their roster. They're just a young, athletic team. And when you have those players, it benefits your special teams. You get guys like Cam Latu who become cult heroes on podcasts. And, some podcast hosts, they appreciate him as a player and they get ridiculed for it. And, just saying.
This is also interesting in conjunction with your thing about how, give Michael Clay a break if the special teams isn't good because they don't put a lot of resources into that.
Yeah.
How do you explain Cam Latu? I mean,
Well, it's not a lot of
He's
resources.
like a third-year player who was
But it's
a
like
third-round
they,
draft pick, wasn't
around the margins of the roster, they seem to have
I see what you're
skewed
saying, yeah.
more
Like Cam
aggressively
Latu was
toward
supposed to be good.
athleticism.
Yeah.
Just like getting really good athletes in, raw players. And you're seeing it show up on special teams for sure. Even like Jordan Davis is an example of like traitsy. You know, like he's even contributed, like he's the edge protector on the field goal unit because he just has really long arms, I think that starts to show up in your special teams and you have a really athletic team.
A lot of discussion about the K-ball this week. I had a nice chat with Jake Elliott yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
This is serious, Julia.
Can I give you a quick story about your chat with Jake Elliott?
Sure.
Jeff Nyberg, my former colleague, was waiting to talk to Jake, and
Yes.
he turns to me and he's like, "Does Bo even have his recorder out? Like, was he just chatting with Jake?" I was like, "We do a podcast. Like, he doesn't need to have a tape recorder
Nice.
out."
Wow.
Like, I mean, he didn't say it like that annoyed. I think he was genuinely curious. Like, is he actually gathering or is he just chatting? And I was like, no, like he's probably gaining insight for the show. So I defended your
Plus,
honor.
I was recording the conversation.
Oh, all right.
si-
I don't have to be.
Since we're hold on about the K-balls, I know we're going to talk about it. Since we're keeping receipts of who said what and when people said it, Vic Fangio talks about the K-ball on his own. No one asked him about it,
Yeah.
and now suddenly everyone's talking about it. Okay, so during
he was too busy asking questions about Denver, so we didn't get to the K-ball with Vic.
it's not quite Bover time, right? So we can't say what he said. You guys talk. I'm gonna find the.
We throw it
So
to
you
overtime.
cut me off, and you don't have what you're cutting me off for?
I thought I had it.
I know you want to talk, but let me just say something.
yeah, you've
real quick.
definitely-
All right,
yeah.
you vamp while I find this.
Found it. All right, I found it.
All right, Dennis,
September.
hold on. He found it.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get to hear
No.
it.
September.
Until overtime.
September 28th during the game, 3:43 p.m. I posted letting teams treat the K-balls
This
all
is
week.
a coining situation. This is...
Letting teams treat the K-balls all week was a bad rule change this year. It's just too easy to get into field goal range now.
Okay, so here's the discussion I had with Jake Elliott.
Yeah, what did he say?
A couple things. One is, and Michael Clay said this too, it is still early in the season, right? So the weather is warmer. The ball is going to travel farther.
That's a Clay special.
It is a Clay special, but it is true.
It's just the truth. Yeah.
Jake Elliott's...
He coined the summer.
Yeah.
Michael Clay.
Jake Elliott's point about this is less about, he believes, it's less about like the ball is different and they're doing the same treatment that they do during the day over the course of the week, and more about the ball becomes predictable for them. So,
Interesting.
So his point is that like the push from the special teams guys to make this a week-long thing is it's also not just they get all day to treat it, all week to treat it. There are like 3 of them as opposed to just 1 of them. So when it used to be the K-ball day of, you just had 1 ball. And now they get multiples of them. And like you get to kick them all week.
Yeah.
And so there's predictability in how it's going to come off your foot.
Okay.
And so that's not only like it makes it easier for them, but there's also probably like some kind of psychological effect to that too, where you're not standing over the ball and wondering how it's going to react. And that's a bigger in his mind, a bigger part of it than scrubbing the ball for a week.
You remembered all that without a recorder when you were talking to him? That's impressive.
He was an active listener.
Were you recording or not? Now this is unclear.
I was recording, but not to write it. Just in case he said something.
So did you listen back to it?
No.
Oh, so you did just commit it to memory.
Yeah.
I'm interested. So, do the punters also get to use K-balls?
That's a good question. I don't
because
know.
Clay said there were 6.
Braden Mann is just dropping bombs.
I'm just wondering, like, and also, can you? Clay said there were 6 of them, and he said it was a problem when you lost one. I'm not sure how you lose one. If you get a kick blocked and the other team just literally steals the ball, I don't know, like, or it goes in the crowd,
dented
goes in the crowd or
like
something.
Maybe,
but like, are they using different balls for kickoffs and field goals? Like, there's so many things I'm wondering about because like when Cardi, who's been really good at the kickoff, so he really messed one up last night.
I'll tell you about that as well.
Like, is he like using a different ball for the kickoff?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I will ask him that.
What did he say?
So then I asked him about the kickoffs because that first kickoff against the Bucs was like perfectly executed.
Yeah.
And he said like, we saw what the Rams guy did. We saw like the technique of it. And this is me editorializing, but like we've always talked about how Jake Elliott is like such a good athlete. You know, like he's a great golfer. He was a great tennis player when they play the softball games. He's the best softball player. I think it's a nice thing to have Jake Elliott as your kicker for the kickoffs now. Because to me, the kickoffs they've become more art than science, right? It's not just line back and boot the ball far. It's it's the difference between like a TrackMan golfer or like a shot maker, right?
I was just about to say that. Oh, I'm so mad you took my analogy.
We're about to coin it.
He can.
He's like the guy with the
he
soft
can learn
hands around
different
the
kinds of
green.
kicks, right?
That's so cool.
And so it is kind of cool, and it makes it much less predictable. And like they can take advantage of the different looks they're getting because he can execute those different kinds of things because he is that talented.
It's like the athletic version of like the musical genius who can hear a song and just like play it on guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really cool.
And I was also asking like, is this how you expect it to play out? And he said they practiced a bunch of different kicks over the course of the offseason, but they weren't exactly sure. And he said like watching the Rams guy like did change their thought process a little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, last night the 49ers were trying to catch those like on without letting them bounce.
Right.
And they muffed one and it almost got recovered by the kicking team, which is crazy. Like on a kickoff with the current rules that you could like actually.
Right.
I thought like the whole league was going to shift towards more of those. It was weird that Jake did it on the first one and then they didn't do it on the other ones afterwards.
Yeah,
I guess they're trying to mix it up.
The look was different or what,
or something. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Eagles defense. You have a very quick summation of how you feel about the Eagles defense right now.
I mean, 4 legitimate superstars on the defense being coached perfectly, like full of young players, a pleasure to watch. I always watch the offense first, and it takes me like a day and a half, and then it was a day and a half on the defense. And man, like when I switch from offense to defense, like
you're in good hands.
It's like, I'm just like, is that a? I'm not sure where you're going with that. Was that like a reference? Okay.
No.
Yeah, no. Just watching Quinyon Mitchell.
You think I'm pulling out a Mr. Hands reference?
No idea. I have no idea what you're
show,
doing, but yeah, it's been weird. Quinyon Mitchell, just how ridiculously good he was this game, and we all know how ridiculously good he was last year. But because he wasn't getting targeted, he was like so good they weren't targeting him that we didn't really have a chance to see him actually play the ball like as often as we did in this last game, right? And for whatever reason, they kept on attacking him. And I know he was on Akuba, and that's the guy they wanted to throw to, but like, man, like he was just awesome. Like I mean, I know you guys are talked about it. Everyone's talked about it, but he was just awesome. Cooper DeJean, just ridiculous. There's that one snap that I was hoping you guys would ask him about. Like it was a cover 2 snap, post cross. No, nobody. All right. Well,
you had a little bit of an online meltdown about this.
it was awesome. Did I?
It's not a nice characterization.
I don't think that's what it was. I was just excited. Post cross, they're running 2 routes, and Goedert and Jalen covered both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran with the post,
Yeah.
and then he almost intercepted the cross on the same play. Just ridiculous. And then I think it is worth talking about the blitzing. Fangio was asked this week, "Are you blitzing more?" Because
You can keep talking.
Okay.
I'll worry about the show notes. You got this.
Are you blitzing more because you're worried about the pass rush? And he said, "I haven't felt an epidemic where I'm calling the game that our rush isn't good enough." But do you guys believe him?
No.
I don't believe him at all, right? Like, and it's like he's blitzing more than he did last year, and he's having a lot of success with it. Julia, there's a graphic.
He has been much in the past. His defenses have not been very good when he has felt like he had to blitz.
Right. And he's still below average at blitz rate.
Right.
But he's close to average. And in success rate by the opponent, the opposition is only 31% successful when he blitzes. That's number 1 in the entire NFL. The Eagles, I mean, I'm shocked to see this graphic, but the Eagles are at the very top of the graph of best blitzing defense. I mean, like, they're not the most frequently blitzing, but they've been very successful when they blitz, and you can really tell that the pass rush just isn't there when they don't.
So I have a take about this,
Okay.
and this may have necessitated me. And I should have texted you about this, Deniz, but it's late at night. I'm texting Sean Syed.
Oh, you know I'm up.
Hold on.
You can text me.
Before we get to this, let's get to something else here.
Oh no!
Tell me how you feel about this kind of etiquette.
Oh come on! You're really gonna air this out, and you're gonna be all fake. Nobody does fake aggrieved as well as Bo.
I'm sorry.
Like, my God.
I'm sorry. Tell me how you would feel about this. And I'll name names. EJ texts me alone.
Can't wait.
Don't say the subject.
Okay, and says, "How would you? What do you think this situation? How do you think this situation would play out?" Okay, and I tell him my response, and he goes, "Oh, that's why we're co-hosts, baby. Like same page." And he sends me a screenshot of a text thread with him, Sheil, and Sean Syed discussing this same thing. As if I'm going to be happy to see that we're on the same page and not mad that I wasn't involved in the conversation in the first place.
Okay, so I'm not allowed to have group chats that
EJ,
don't include you?
No, but
You
why
are,
would
but then
you
don't rub
share?
my face in it.
I didn't know that was the terms of this podcast marriage, that I can't just text Sheil and Sean about something. You have to be included
You're
in every
allowed
group
to,
chat.
but then don't screenshot.
That's like
I thought you would be happy. I thought you'd be like, yeah, we got synergy.
That's like texting your spouse and being like, "That's why we work so well together, baby." And like, you know, and then a screenshot.
What would you order from this menu?
And then a screenshot of you like texting your mistresses talking about the same thing.
It's not a mystery.
What would you order from this? What would you order from this menu, sweetheart? That's why we're the best.
Me too,
Here's a picture with me with my guma.
Yeah.
With our relationship is not like a exclusive relationship. I'm allowed to talk about football with other people.
I didn't say you weren't allowed to, but to then screenshot it and send it and think I'm gonna be patting you on the back.
It's just like I'm allowed to talk about football with other people. I figured like you would. I didn't know that was gonna cut any part of you that EJ's talking. I think he must be talking about football with Sheil. Like I didn't know it's gonna strike a chord. That's all I'll say.
I mean, Julia.
Just like yesterday, I said to my former Inquirer colleagues, like, "Oh, I miss the Inquirer huddle. You know, they always huddle up after the locker
he's
room."
walking right next to me when he says this.
You know, one of us is secure in our podcast marriage here. You know, I feel like I can say those types of things. I'll be more sensitive moving forward. Anyway,
Absolute party foul.
so I have a take.
Fran says, "At least you got a screenshot. I have to hear about it here on the show."
Oh, Fran, I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Okay, Eagles linebackers. I was texting Sean Syed like well past my own bedtime. Oh, I mean,
You decided to text him on your own instead of needing me to tell you to
encourage me to
text
text him.
Yeah.
About like, because I don't know enough about a 3-3-5 defense, and I'm not suggesting the Eagles should be doing this, but I was just curious if there was a defensive coordinator out there that would look at the linebacking trio of Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, and Jihad Campbell and go, yeah, that fits, like that works, and it seems like the answer is yes, with a necessary caveat that like it still puts Jihad Campbell and Zach Bond in positions like they can do it. You really wouldn't want them there. Like they are so good in the middle of the field. And from what I understand from talking to Sean, it's like a 3-3-5 plays like a 5-1 a lot of the time, like those penny fronts that they used to use a lot. And I don't want any part of having those guys on the edge that much. But what I do think we've seen Vic Fangio lean into, and I think that what they should lean into more is the fact that they've got 3 linebackers who can blitz. Maybe there are only 2 of them on the field at most of the time, but we've seen them have a lot of success with sim pressures. I said this on the show yesterday that Zach Bond got a lot of pressure against the Bucs with sim pressures, blitzing from depth as a linebacker, dropping Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche or Zadarius Smith into coverage. If you don't feel great about your edge rusher group, that's a perfect way to compensate for it. Like have those guys operate from the spaces that they are elite in, but send them on blitzes more often. I think we've seen Vic Fangio lean into that.
If I can follow up on several of those things. So in this last game, the Fangio sent 9 exchange pressers and 11 blitzes.
Ooh, I like an exchange pressure. I like that expression. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that last year there was this whole rhetoric of is it a sim pressure? Is it a I don't know. Zach Bond rushed the passer 12 times in the game. On those 12 plays, Tampa Bay got 0 first downs. There were 2 sacks and -2 total yards. So those plays were working.
Wow.
Now, in terms of Jihad Campbell being the edge rusher in those, if you were to play all 3 of them at the same time, Jihad Campbell lined up on the line of scrimmage 18 times this last game. It was 19 times the game before. There were 5 snaps of nickel with 3 defensive tackles and only 1 edge rusher on the field. Now, it's only 5 snaps. This happened for the first time this year. Fangio hadn't done this before. This is, of course, post Nolan Smith injury, right? So you're trying to steal some edge snaps in the heat, etc. He did do this 51 times last year. Okay, so it's not like he didn't do it at all. When I first saw that, this was before I watched the film, I was assuming those were plays where Jihad Campbell is basically a quasi-edge rusher.
Yeah.
But that's not true. These were all in nickel where the quote-unquote other edge rusher in the 5-2 box was the great Cooper DeJean, right? Because Cooper DeJean can play that role where he can be the edge in case it's run, but he can also just like cover the slot receiver if it's a pass. So that's kind of a way to play more nickel rather than base. I've been thinking like about, are they going to get Nakobe on the field? Are they going to do like a 3-3 where what would that look like? One of the linebackers would have to basically be an edge.
Yeah.
And then you play with the other 3, like kind of in this kind of you kind of make it a penny from the other side. We look at Fangio's history, and I'm sure Sean either talked about this or thought about this or whatever. When he was in Miami, Van Ginkel was sometimes one of the 2 linebackers on the field in a regular 4-2 nickel, but sometimes they would play with 2 other linebackers, and Van Ginkel was basically just an edge.
Yeah.
And the Eagles could do that. What Fangio would do was he would just take one of the edges off the field and put Van Ginkel there.
So who do you think occupies that Van Ginkel role? Because I don't.
Oh, it would definitely be Jihad Campbell.
Okay, good.
Like he's the one that he's putting.
Definitely that way.
No. And Zach Bond could do it too, and he did it a bunch last year where he was the guy on the line when Nakobe was in the middle.
The Eagles defense right now is set up where they put all of their best players in the best positions possible.
Yeah.
Putting Zach Bond on the edge is not that.
Well, right now, I mean, those numbers it's not like anecdotal. It's like 18 times Jihad Campbell lined up on the line of scrimmage this game. Yeah. He's clearly the one that Vic wants to be on the line, and he said that it's because he feels more comfortable with Zach Bond being in the middle now.
Yeah.
At the same time, they asked him, like, would you think about putting Jihad Campbell at edge when Nakobe comes back? And he said, not right now, right? So, like...
But maybe that is,
maybe we're just talking...
There's a nuance there that he is taking advantage of. He can do that sometimes at the podium. Like, he will answer it maybe more literally than it is actually true.
Yeah. Well...
I mean, listen, I think if the edge guys continue to be as unproductive as they've been, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them mess around with that a little bit.
Yeah. Fangio just doesn't, other than the Van
They
Ginkel
have 2
thing.
sacks all season long from 4-man pressure.
Right. Yeah.
We heard from Jalix Hunt
And
today
half a sack from the
about
actual
this.
defensive line.
Right.
I mean,
Jalen-
from the edge rushers.
Jalix Hunt says that there's not concern in the edge rusher group. He said that it hurts their feelings that that they don't have a full sack yet, but he said that they come in bunches and that he really leaned into or emphasized
One of the great just NFL sayings that is just accepted as a truism. Sacks come in bunches. Yeah.
Well, he talked about he really emphasized that they're playing good football and that sometimes what their job
Like when Luke Falk comes to town, then we're gonna get our sacks.
I mean, there is
Right. Yeah,
validity
exactly.
to that.
That is
Like,
why they
yeah.
come in bunches. Yeah. You're going up against Winston
Right.
Justice one game. Yeah.
But yeah, he emphasized the importance of the role that they're playing within the defense, and I thought it was interesting that he said in a Vic Fangio defense, you don't have it's not set up for one position group or one player to really just go for it or have the freedom to do what they want to do. You're always kind of part of a cog in a machine, for lack of a better expression. So because of that, it does seem because we've seen Eagles defenses before where it's it is built around the defensive line, creating havoc, getting upfield. And Jalix Hunt was talking about the fact that this really isn't that type of defense. That said, there's really no way to dress up the fact that they just have not gotten great production from that group.
Yeah, and they're getting really thin there. I thought it was funny. Zadarius Smith last week was talking about, I mentioned it on the show, he said he had to learn the base defense now that Nolan Smith is out. Eagles play 13 snap a base. Zadarius Smith's not out there for any of them. And then yesterday he was asked again, how's it going or whatever, and he was like, I got to learn the base defense.
That's very funny.
It's I hope it's a continuing bit,
Yeah,
or he
not a
keeps
quick
saying
learner.
he keeps saying he has to learn it, and then he just never plays on.
To circle back to just the Quinyon Mitchell appreciation. Julia.
It's about time somebody laughs.
I'm doing this for you
again,
so that
fake
we can
aggrieved.
use the graphic that you work so hard to create.
Oh, come on. Again, nobody does fake aggrieved like you. She just laughed at the way you said it. It's okay. You don't have to make it into a thing.
To circle back to the appreciation of young Quinyon Mitchell. Here's what Cooper DeJean said about him. He definitely talks more trash than people realize, and I love it. He's like a silent assassin because you wouldn't think, talking to him, if you didn't know him, that he'd be the type of guy to go out there and talk trash, but he kind of gets in that mode when he's out on the football field. He's just so locked in and dialed in with so much confidence on the field, he just lets it fly and lets guys know. Good quote, EJ.
Great setup. I mean, yeah.
Were you there, AJ, when Cooper was talking about how someone asked him if him and Quinyon had code words for
Didn't
each
I
other?
ask it that?
Did you
code
ask?
words for each other?
Well, no, he said we have certain things we say so we know if we're passing off a route or whatever.
Oh no, I was.
And someone asked, does that translate to off the field? Do you guys have
I asked him something similar, and he said that they don't have. I mean, at least to me, he said that they don't have
Pet names.
a secret language off the field. But
Okay,
I thought
maybe
in the
it was-
mic'd up, you heard Quinyon asking him about a route, and it did kind of sound.
that was really cool. Up,
Yeah.
out, up, or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's out or something. And
I thought he was just describing the route, but
I don't know what it
cool.
was, but Quinyon or Cooper's yeah. I don't know. They do seem like they have some code words on the field. Did you guys? Not to. This is really whatever. It's not that off topic. Did you watch the mic'd up? Did you hear Quinyon's inflection of voice when he he's kind of I can't even do it. He's
the really high
squeaking.
voice.
Yeah, he's talking in a high
yeah.
pitched voice. Did you hear this? So I think I deleted the video. But I have to see if I can find it. He one time during training camp, the ball rolls to my feet, and Quinyon runs and grabs it, and he used that voice to me.
Oh.
It's I'm gonna have to do it. It's thank you, thank you, and I was just what a quirky thing for the Eagles' second-year cornerback to do, to have this voice on the field, but it must be a thing for him. He has this
Because he does not talk
different
like that
mode.
off the field, right?
no, definitely
Not even close. Yeah.
It's instead of going Brian Dawkins Wolverine, he's going Mighty Mouse.
yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
The alter ego
Yeah,
of Kenyon Mitchell.
I watched the
I
mic
can
up
appreciate that.
with Ren, and it's always funny because it's like half beeps. Like, and it's like the beeps are there for you, but like, yeah. Well,
Okay. How about this Broncos offense? How do you feel?
a lot of purposeful motion, bringing the motion guy back on routes coming the other way. They use Mims a lot that way. A lot of play action, a lot of like naked play action boot. And I know that would get your eyebrows up.
Wouldn't that be great? Just,
BG was
I mean, you want to talk about catching the defense off guard?
just come out
an
naked.
actual naked bootleg?
Yeah. Would they all be
Jaden
naked?
Ivey thing all
Yeah.
over again.
No. You have the quarterback is under center, and you have like the it's like a 21 personnel, so he's surrounded. You can't really see him, and then you can't realize that as he's underneath the center, he's taking all his clothes off, and then there comes the naked boot.
Wow. You got to get to the line early, dude.
Yeah, you gotta get the line early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so a lot of naked boot.
I feel like
Those edge rushers
You tell
have
me
to
if this-
play the naked.
if it was just bottomless, so it would be hard to take the shoulder pads off. You wouldn't have time. So if it's just Donald Duck in it, bottomless, could you still call it a naked bootleg, or would you have to be more prescriptive in the description?
This goes back to which position would be best off with a tail conversation.
Yeah.
Which position, if one position,
Forgot about that.
if one of the positions had to be naked, strategically, which player would you have be naked?
Fully nude?
Yeah.
They get to wear a helmet, though, I imagine.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be the
Wide
second
receiver.
No, I
Okay.
think it's running
Why?
back. Definitely running back.
Wait, what?
No.
Definitely. You think
No
it's definitely?
way.
Why would you rather have your wide receiver be naked?
Well, because you can send him deep, but he's also they don't want to cover him too tightly. But the running back's gonna get he's gonna get in so many pileups, like he's gonna get destroyed.
Then people aren't gonna want to touch him.
Well, yeah. EJ's,
yeah, but he's
EJ's
going
going
to.
with the like they're going to want to avoid the naked
Ooh,
guy.
edge rusher.
Ooh, edge rusher's good,
Yeah.
but they just block him that way.
You know, I could tell you what DeVonta Smith said in the locker room after today. Like, I could give you some insight about some of the Eagles. Eagles topics, but
quarterback could be the answer.
no, they
Because
don't
if you
get
think
touched
about
enough.
like looking guys off with your eyes, I mean, you're looking them off all kinds of ways.
It's like a Tuesday show now.
Oh, man. I thought Thursday was the exposed bone
Oh,
show.
man.
Oh, man.
All right. We did see the run defense make some improvements.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's really hard to be serious here. The run defense hasn't been great so far. Within the Tampa game, I thought it was good. Like, Tampa ran the same runs, like, run. Every team does this. Like, they run the same runs, like, throughout a game. And it seemed like the first time the Eagles saw a run, they didn't know exactly how to fit it, or somebody made a mistake or whatever. Tampa ran like the split counter run. They got 8 yards the first time, 2 yards the second time. They were ready for it. They ran counter with 2 pulling tight ends. Got 15 yards the first time, 3 the second time. That happened near the end of the game as well, where they just had hat on a hat. They got like 7 yards on a duo run, only 1 on the very next play. I think the Eagles are quick to adjust on defense in general. So much quicker than the offense is. Like, Fangio is so good at that. You can tell, like, the position coaches are so good at that, where they're not going to get beat twice by the same thing, right? Like, and so you see, like, a mistake that they make giving up that long touchdown, like the one that Makuba gave up, for example. Like, you just know that they're going to fix those things. And so I think, like, some of the stuff, like the problems against the run, some of it's personnel, but a lot of it is stuff that I think will get fixed. So I don't know. Are you worried about like that continuing to be a thing, like giving up runs?
I'm less worried about that, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, right,
But I do think that
right now the
I do think
numbers.
specifically their edge defenders are not great run defenders.
Yeah, no, that's
Especially
true.
without Nolan Smith.
Without Nolan Smith, for sure. Yeah, that's part of it, and that would be one of the arguments for occasionally maybe taking one of those guys off the field and putting a linebacker there. But again, I don't know if that's like something that Fangio would want to do within his structure.
EJ, what did DeVonta Smith say in the locker room?
A few things that I found noteworthy. He was discussing AJ Brown at the very beginning of his. Actually, funny joke by Zach Berman when DeVonta back Zerman, as you may remember him. It was the very beginning. It was the very beginning of his media scrum, and Zach goes, "Do you want to go first?" Because AJ's opening statement a few days earlier. DeVonta did not have an opening statement, but he did address AJ's social media posts and all the drama around AJ Brown this week. He said he's a great leader, and I mean, probably like most guys on the team, he wants what's best for the team. Things aren't necessarily going our way offensively, and I don't think there's anything wrong with him to want better in that situation. So very much aligned with AJ Brown on how he sees things. I also found it interesting that DeVonta said that there's ups and downs, I think is how he phrased it, or highs and lows, and how he responds to having quiet games.
Okay.
And when asked how he felt after the Bucs game, he said, "I'd rather not say." So,
interesting.
Yeah, I've definitely found that noteworthy.
Was he asked about his relationship with Jalen?
Yeah, I actually asked him like what conversations are like. He was like, I think, yeah, basically I was asking him what it's like in the building after a game, after a situation like that. And he basically said like what's understood doesn't really need to be said. In that like they're frustrated. It doesn't necessarily require a big, like come to Jesus moment. I think they are all aware of the state of things. So honestly, like I wrote this this morning, like to me, like the dust has settled on a lot of the drama that stemmed from the tweet. But the question remains, like, will the Eagles offense run through these guys more than it has? And if it doesn't, where does that leave them?
I think that's right. I think this week-long tweetgate is over.
But everything that started it is still there. Yeah.
Right.
AJ Brown is not, he didn't come out and say, "I'm not frustrated anymore."
Yeah.
DeVonta Smith didn't come out and say like, "Yeah, we feel great about the way things are." Like the frustration's still there. It's just a matter of how they address it moving forward. Yeah. And I just really quick, I thought you made a good point about like how Nick is kind of the one that needs to be able to navigate this. What I wanted to add is that I think it is a tough job if you're Nick.
Absolutely.
And specifically because I think you hear him talk about two separate things that are at odds with each other. You hear him talk about taking joy in the wins.
Yeah.
But then you also hear him talk about like being hard on the team on a Monday to help them improve. And it almost feels like a loss, right? Because you are correcting things as if it were a loss to get where you need to go as a team. Those two things are at odds with each other. Taking joy in the win and also like having to be critical of the wins. It's hard to do both of those things. And I think it's especially hard if I know how this might sound, but it's just hang with me here. It's especially hard if 50% of your locker room is going, "We're 4-0. Why?"
Yeah.
And obviously I think they are all more nuanced. This is pretty granular the way I'm presenting it here, but we're 4-0. We need to take joy in the wins. And the other 50%, you hear from AJ, you hear from DeVonta, those guys are saying the way that we're playing isn't good enough. Obviously the serious team talk, like, the goals that we have do not align with the way we're playing. So I just wanted to, when I heard your conversation on my drive in, that was like really what struck me. It's like, it is a hard job to figure out the balance between those two things.
And you add that onto, the having to put the game plan together and wanting to be able to take a zoom out to reassess whether the identity of your team is what you thought it was going to be coming into the season. It's just like there's not a lot of hours to do all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think about my dad's coaching career, and like after a win, they go to Applebee's and they have a good time. Like, having that while also, if you're obviously
always Applebee's.
I think they were. I mean, I wasn't always there. I was young, but I remember some Applebee's trips after wins. But then, like the next day, you're watching the film critically. So finding that balance is like probably more challenging than we give it credit for a team in a situation like the Eagles.
I feel like
Deniz picking us migrate.
Okay.
Applebee's, Chili's, TGI Fridays.
Oh, why don't I get to do that?
I'm asking him first. I mean, you just talked for a long time.
I'm going to let you think about this because I need to address something that kind of aligns with this. Did anybody notice that Bo thanked literally everybody that was a part of yesterday's show except for me? Like, thank you, Fran. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Ethan, for the graphics. Thank you, Francis and Kiki.
Hey, EJ.
Like, everybody.
Wow.
EJ.
Thanks to everybody except for my co-host.
You know what? What's understood doesn't need to be said.
There you go.
Maybe that's why I was texting Sheila and Sean last night.
please.
Got to go where you feel appreciated.
At least he didn't call you my co-host.
Appreciated.
I got along fine with my co-host.
Yeah, my co-host.
Yeah.
And Julia.
I get along.
Do you have an answer?
I don't really want to nest any of them. I would...
What's that about?
I don't know. I don't like big...
You don't have.
I don't like supporting big corporate chains is the main thing. But since you asked,
I didn't
and
think
I
about it from
don't
this
normally
angle.
get a Peck Nest Migrate opportunity, I will...
To me, it's a clear migrate situation.
See, I haven't been to Applebee's or Chili's since I was like 10. So I don't have a great way to distinguish between the two. TGI Fridays, I think it was the place I went to for like margaritas at happy hour when I was like in college.
They
So
got
that's-
those at the other places too.
Do they? Okay. All right. Well,
Do you need me to step in
This is
here?
a bad job by you. Go ahead.
well,
EJ.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna peck.
EJ was right. It should be.
I'm gonna peck TGI Fridays
Really
just because you can get ice cream there. You can get by if you're at a TGI Fridays.
interesting.
Nesting Applebee's all day. Oh man, Applebee's.
Well, you have like a history with Applebee's in your family. Like you went there for special
yeah,
occasions.
and I don't know if I'd
So
be
that totally-
married
that
to my
makes
wife
sense.
if it weren't for Applebee's and like the
Really?
half price boneless wings. Yeah,
There you go.
That's a good one.
it was right next to where we worked. We would go there like all the time for half price apps. When you're like a high school kid, that is actually good living right there.
I
Going to
agree.
Applebee's, getting some chicken bacon quesadillas.
I think you could make a strong case for Applebee's or Chili's. I am flabbergasted that you're not migrating TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays is
What
absolutely
are
the
you getting
gutter
at
bottom
Chili's?
barrel
Though?
of
Are you
those
getting
choices.
like pretty mid barbecue items at Chili's? Because to me, like I don't want that stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you get the same stuff you get at Applebee's.
I also am a
gonna-
little scarred because one of my friends, whenever I send him pictures of my barbecue, he's always like, "Oh yeah, that's like a Chili's type thing." It just kills me. He knows what he's doing when he says that.
When I lived in Istanbul, Allen Iverson joined Beşiktaş in the Turkish league for about half a season, and he lived in my neighborhood, like close, like their arena and their practice facility was close to where I lived, and I heard him give an interview to, I think it was the Philadelphia Inquirer, about life in Istanbul, and he said that his favorite place to eat in Istanbul was TGI Fridays.
Of course.
And he said,
Famously,
I
that's where he
didn't
went.
realize how good their Philly cheesesteak spring rolls were while I was living in Philly. It took me to come to Istanbul to learn how good the Philly, and I was like, just
That's
every
great.
every single thing about this is wrong. Like, but I thought that was like very funny that Allen Iverson's spot in Istanbul was TGI Fridays, and it's the one time I was like, maybe we should go to TGI Fridays once in a while, see if Iverson's hanging out, see if AI's over there, but
There's a
never saw him.
wonder kid that plays for Besiktas.
Beşiktaş.
Besiktas. Semi Kuliksoy.
Your pronunciation
Football
of
manager guys will know what that is.
Galatasaray
Well, I mean,
also needs some
it
improvement.
was better than Andrews.
Big win over Liverpool this week. By
Yeah.
the way. Yeah. There you go.
Is that your team?
Yes, my family's team. I had season tickets for years. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from the locker room, AJ?
Those are the two big things. Saquon spoke after I left. He's been pushing it on the Friday availability. It's like he's counter programming us or something like that. You know?
Yeah, he's This is specifically aimed at Deniz.
Oh
This
yeah.
is his
It all makes
retort
sense.
to a year of you making fun of him during the best year of his career.
Also, those in the chat saying that Outback is great. Yeah, Outback is kind of a tier above these, in my
I would agree
opinion.
with that.
You got to know, like, I know my chain restaurants. I'm not a foodie like you. Like, I was a big
I'm
chain
not above a
guy
chain restaurant.
until like 3 years ago. I think I told you I spent my 21st birthday at an Applebee's.
It's a lot of margaritas.
It really wasn't.
What's your go-to Applebee's order?
I like the quesadilla burger, but really just boneless wings.
When you go on the road, do you find yourself ever at like? Do you make a point to go to like a regional fast food type situation?
No, and this reminds me of the time that you embarrassed me in front of all my former colleagues at the Inquirer when we went to the Senior Bowl, and you're like, "Oh, you got to go to Cookout." So I take all of my colleagues to Cookout, and again, I'm not a foodie, but some of my former colleagues, they're foodies. Like they like good food, and I'm like, Bo told me about this place called Cookout, and we get there, and it's like $2 chicken wraps and milkshakes.
If you want to talk about college living, there is nothing
but
better
like,
than a
you
Cookout
didn't
tray.
frame it as like this is a good, cheap place to get food. I just thought it was like a good lunch spot. So like they were really disappointed. You should have seen Jeff McClain's reaction.
That's very funny.
To the like,
That is very
he got
funny.
a milkshake and he's like,
Oh, their milkshakes are very good.
but they're not milkshakes. It's just ice cream.
Well, yeah. I mean, all
That's
kinds
what a
of different
milkshake.
flavors.
That's what a
No,
milkshake
it's
should
like
be.
thick ice cream.
That's what
it's
that's what a
delicious.
milkshake is.
He has a straw and he's just like,
Huh.
what am I supposed to do with this straw?
Oh, that's very funny.
See,
That's very funny that you took that
for it
as
to be
like
for it to be very clear, like if people are going to think I'm a snob or something because of the Applebee's thing, I don't like supporting chains. I love local cheap, like grease joints. Like I love that. So McLean's a
Ooh,
foodie,
like Charlie's and
but
Delco,
he doesn't
the
like
burger
that
place?
place. Like I think
Cookout is
being a foodie and liking places like that. Like definitely go together. Like
So-
you can be a foodie and appreciate $2.
That's
that's
Jeff
a totally
Nyberg.
different thing.
He like will eat like a Domino's pizza at like midnight on the road.
It's a little different.
Yeah,
That's called
Well, I think-
depression.
This is like a Tuesday show. We're an hour and 40 minutes into this. And we're talking about Domino's pizza.
Oh my god.
Bojangles? You ever go to Bojangles?
No, I
Ooh,
probably would
Bojangles
love
is
it.
very good.
How do you feel about Raging Cajuns though? Or Raging Canes?
I think I've only been once.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's like it's somewhere between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
I was trying to decide if I should say Chick-fil-A.
That's you.
We're giving up
Real
too much
ones,
free
though.
advertising.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got to close with the uniform stuff, probably, right?
Just standard midnight
Okay.
green on white. Too much white on the field. Denver's wearing all white.
Especially both these defenses.
What to say?
Both teams have white corners. And the Eagles are wearing white pants and white socks. So is Denver. That shouldn't be allowed, by the way. Like
White corners?
No. Well, both teams are wearing the same color pants. In soccer, like that's not allowed. Like you can't wear the same
Yeah.
shorts or socks as the other team. In the NFL, they're way too loose about that.
You know what
They're
would
like,
solve that?
the naked bootleg.
No pants. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
It'll be a good game for EJ. Denver plays with a sixth offensive lineman a lot, which
Yeah,
means
we talked
base
about him.
defense, baby.
I didn't get that one in Swooper.
Gotta.
How did you feel about the game theory of Franz? You got to sit out the next two items.
I loved it. Loved it.
Worked
Loved
out
it.
great for
I
me.
was so happy about that. Like that. I think it was the first time anyone else has presented a non-standard.
That's not true.
Rules
You forget
option?
about the strip
Well, okay. I'm not even.
and then the penny auction.
Yeah. Okay.
That-
Fine.
yeah.
All right. That's true. But I thought like one that involved strategy as opposed to nudity. First time, and I really liked. No, I have this week's though. Yeah. No, I really like that one.
Ooh, nice symmetry on
He
this.
could have gotten. Yeah, you guys each got 4. He could have got. He was a little unlucky because the next two items were kind
Yes.
of
Yes.
cheap ones. But,
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but EJ got a half a point shopping in the bargain bin last week. So
How
we'll
do
see.
you feel about my strategy so far?
I mean, those what does Jordan Mailata say? Points don't lie, right?
Does he say that?
Yeah, he says points don't lie.
I mean, I felt like last week was kind of just like recuperating, trying to save up some turkeys. To get a half point out of that,
Yeah, I agree.
I was pretty happy with that.
No, it was really good. No,
Easy game.
a huge turkey
Yeah,
advantage.
D-Lynham can't wait to tell you how well you're doing in Swooper.
I think she might
I'll
have
see her
already.
at
She
Applebee's.
might have already sent you a note.
Yeah.
Bo's
All
got
right.
a huge turkey advantage for next
Good
week.
stuff. Just a dynamic Friday episode. Thank you, Julia, for making it all happen. Thank you, Professor, for bringing all the stats. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody here at PHLY. Remember, we will be with you on Sunday the kickoff show, the halftime show, and the post-game show. Looking forward to it. Eagles-Broncos. We'll have you covered in all different ways. And that'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. Like, comment, all that good stuff. We're like 4 subscribers away from 50,000. Very cool. That's all we got.
They are.
And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.